me start the recording. I'm a little bit late. As we just make sure everything's set up, I think we're good. We'll start streaming as bada bing, bada boom, we're live. I don't know why I did that. But yes, I'm just making rewards enabled on channel. Get rewards by purchasing or gifting subscriptions to while they're live in any category. What? You can't even subscribe to my channel. How is that possible? Well, I don't think you can. Can you? I don't even know how I look. I'm pretty sure I can't. I'm pretty sure I'm not eligible for financing. Okay, well, I don't know if that ends up happening, then we'll see, but I'm not going to count on it. But yes, anywho, we're going to have a bit of a shorter stream today because I'm going to be busy later. So, we're just drawing today. So sorry, Button City, you'll have to wait till next week. Some new tracks on Chill Hop, which I'm starting to play from the top downwards, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, just drawing today. I apologise, I'll be ending an hour earlier than usual, so I can get ready. I'm going out with a few friends later today. But yeah, what we'll be doing, if you've missed me, I suppose, since last week wasn't here, I was in Paris. If you've not been checking out the Animal Crossing episodes, where I cover most of that. We have this Halloween-y sort of art, which I want to continue and finish, but we've not yet done so, because we need to draw the background. And last time I was talking about how I probably want to change the background to not a door, but like a red sky haunted fairground sort of thing. But we've not done that yet. So for now, what we're going to do is we're going to turn off, I guess, all the layer. Well, definitely the text layer. I guess I'll turn off all the sketch layers. We kind of need to make a new sketch, don't we? If we're going to have a new background of a fairground or whatever may be going on. Or maybe just a bloody moon, I don't really know. But nonetheless, that is something we'll have to discover very quickly now. As we're just going to keep drawing until we finish this thumbnail art. But the long and short of it is, I want this sort of sign, because it's kind of like D is leaning into you right now. That's the point, right? So I kind of want like the sign of a gate to be here. I guess we'll have like a clown face here. I'm trying to think what would make it like Carn-evil. Carnival. How do you spell carnival? I'm spelling carnival backwards to make sure it fits on the sign. Carn-evil. Oh, let's just make it, instead of doing a clown, let's just make this an eye. So it's like some sort of creepy staring thing. The closest we'll get to Eldritch Abomination without actually making body horror or anything like that. Oh, but we can do the eyes the same way that I've done these sort of teardrop eyes on D to make it, wow, a choral effect going on. The same sort of thing. But yes, I wanted to make it a bit more of a carnival sort of thing. I wanted to have, it's probably a bit too high up. I might bring that a bit lower down, because I want to have a sort of like moon in the sky like this, everything sort of obscured in a very creepy way. And then we can have like, I'm not sure, we can have like a fairground, right? Like a carousel over here. Maybe it's better we have the gate sort of reasonably high up. You might be like, why is there a gate on the fairground? And valid question. But then in the background we can have like, trying to think, we'll have like a fairground ride like this. Maybe we'll have like a roller coaster. But Horizon generally is kind of, it's a bit ambiguous here, because it's like we don't have a solid like, ow, I just like scratched my earring. We don't have like a solid horizon line. I guess a horizon line, if we think about it, it's like down, like way down here. It's off the screen. which is fine. Like, it doesn't quite match up, but again, these are splash arts in the background, so I don't think it's too important that this needs to be so unanimous is a wrong word, but you know what I mean. Some Scary Carnival, good evening. Good evening to you. Yes, so welcome to the Scary Carnival. I hope you enjoy your stay. Which is always a very funny thing, I think, to see. Whenever you have those horror shows or whatever, there's like some classic lines. I mean, I shouldn't say classic lines, it's like a classic thing in general, horror, to sort of like twist the context of whatever you're in to try and make it sound spookier. Spookier? I can't speak. Sorry, spookier. Like, I hope you enjoy your stay at this not at all spooky hotel, or class is dismissed, or I don't know. Do you have a sky? Oh, hold on. The sketch layer was too far down. No, I put it in the wrong folder. Okay, here we go. You got winter time now, so your stream starts on an hour later for me now. Ah, yes. Spring forward, fall back. Is that better or worse for you? I guess is my question. So unfortunately not, I can't do much to change it unless I get a lot more free time, but well, you say good evening, so it must already be kind of late for you right now, which is certainly something. I still appreciate you being here. 11 PM, oh my word. Oh yeah, I remember you mentioning this. You said, were you in Australia or something? Were you watched till like 2 AM or 3 AM last time? No, 2 AM. Does that make sense? 1, 2, 3 hours of it. Normally starts at 10. No, 1 AM. Okay, sorry, I can't do maths. It's almost Monday morning. I don't know if you're like in school or work or anything like that, but please do make sure you get some good sleep as well. I'd hate to be the cause of you not always being your best self on a Monday morning. Monday mornings are hard enough as they are, I think, for most people. But yeah, again, you're in control of your own life, your own fate. I'm not gonna try and pretend that I'm gonna have the influence over it. You shall what you want out and fall asleep. That is honestly based. Good morning to you, Vinch dear. Vinch's dearest. You know, time zones are honestly a very crazy thing to think about, and also not really all that crazy at the same time. I'm very adult, no worry. we love that for you. Okay, I always got to be very careful because I know especially my Animal Crossing videos probably have a much sort of like younger target audience, and I'm like, I should be careful what I say about that sort of thing, you know. I don't want to make a bad impression on the youth or something. We gotta be good role models and stuff like that. Oh, I guess that kind of goes for life really as well. It doesn't just go for children, it goes for adults. But anyway, I don't know why I'm going with this. Yeah, more power to you, you know. I'll try and speak in, should I like speak in an ASMR tone, so it's just like dulcet lullabies as you go to sleep. Like, and we're gonna continue. Wait, I don't even know how to do it as well. I just whisper, right? Your stream's always very lovely and relaxed. Games of joy. Ah, thank you. I like to think that's the sort of vibe I have. So, just to lull you into a false sense of security, and one day I'm gonna. Please no ASMR. A crowd has spoken. I was gonna lull you into a false sense of security, and then really what I'm doing is I'm subtly incepting you with some hypnotic techniques to make you I don't know. I don't even know what I do. I think I would not make a very good evil mastermind. I'm not even sure what like my grand plan would be, because I feel like a big motivator for villains would be like, oh, power, you know, money, or something like that. But I'm like, or destruction. I'm like, I don't know if I want the amount that true villains actually want, you know. To make me come to a scary Deer Carnival? Absolutely. Yes, you'll be unwittingly, you'll just wake up one day and you'll find yourself there. You'll have no recollection of what happens, and then I don't know. I think it would just be a really fun time. It won't even be scary at all. It would just be It just looks scary and it looks decrepit, but it's actually very safe. It's OSHA compliant, and I don't know how big I should make a moon. Because I just had a thought about it. I was like, what if I just make it really weirdly big? Just sort of like Majora's Mask-esque style. Yeah, the Deer Carnival, the spooky Deer Carnival, actually very safe. Nothing to actually be worried about when you're here. You're in good company, in good hands. Everyone is first aid trained on the staff. We have plenty of fire exits. No memories, usually Saturday, not Monday. Fair enough. There's a wild Friday evenings or nights, which I must say, I'm gonna comment on this now. But university days, you know, obviously, where did we have the energy of partying every single night? But why did we always choose to go out partying on the weekdays? You know, I got lectures that day, the next day. Like the most common day, at least when I was in university, to go out. I feel like it was. I'm now getting confused. It was either like Monday or Thursday or something. But I'm just like, come on. My Friday lectures, my Tuesday lectures. There's 9 a.m.s. Oh no, what just done there? How am I going to make it to them? We really got to go out more on Fridays rather than the other days. First day drinking was rough. Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, I mean, of course we're all studying very, very hard in university times and not out drinking, having a wild time. To be fair, I think most of my drinking days are very much in my first year, a bit of second year, third year. But by third year, it was sort of just like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. But yeah, it's amazing that we have the tenacity to do that in the first place. It's really is quite a weird thing to look back on. You might ask me, I might ask you, would you like to do that again? Like, if I was like, hey, you want to come out for like clubbing and drinks now? Oh, actually, I did read an article that the clubbing scene is like slowly getting more and more diminished or something in the UK. I don't know necessarily about other countries. I'm sorry, I don't read your local news, but younger generations aren't so keen on it anymore, which is fair because I'm sure there's an oversaturation of like these honestly not great clubs, bars, etc, etc. But also I'm sure that some of it is the prices are quite high for drinks now. I mean, they're always quite high, I'm gonna be honest. I remember one of the clubs I went to in uni had like this ATM and it charged like some really high transfer fee or something if you withdrew from it, which almost seems, I guess it is a little bit sort of like predatory in a sense, in a financial way, but I don't know, people still used it. I guess with that, it doesn't really matter as much anymore with contactless payments, which by the way are miraculous things. Look, I am very much, sorry, I'm going on like a conversational journey here. I don't even know where we're going. Keep up, everyone. I hope you've done your stamina training for conversations. But I'm very much someone who tends to be slow to adopt new technology trends. Not in a way that I'm just like, oh, I'm scared of technology or like I don't understand it. It's more just like I don't know. I guess I'm satiated with what I have right now, and I don't understand the need for it until I actually use it. And sometimes it's right, and sometimes it's wrong. But contactless, that's a beautiful thing. Contactless payments. No more faffing about with a purse trying to get out your card. Or like going to the store and trying to buy something and be like, oh, I left my card at home. It's all on the phone. For better and for worse, I suppose, but you're a VTuber, you're pretty much on par with the kids. You're not fair enough. Oh, we can't say that too loudly, otherwise I had to mark my videos as being on YouTube Kids. And I don't know if I want that. I spent a lot of time on that moon for really no apparent reason. I wasn't even shading it properly. There's the big secret of art sometimes is I'm just like, oh, sometimes I'm not actually doing anything. I'm just like drawing over with some colour for no reason. Okay, how red do we want everything? Let's do a bit more of an orangey red or a pinky red. Maybe we'll just do it even more desaturated. Yeah, actually, I think that's the way to go. Let's make the sky even more saturated. And we'll make the clouds more desaturated. I actually completely forgot about at some point I wanted to finish off this VTuber avatar. This D one that you see in the corner here, eventually I wanted to like actually animate it, but I never actually got around to doing so. Not yet. It's like a... I'm reluctant to use those phone things. Hello, Fadian. I feel like such an information leak. I get it. And I'm with you. It definitely almost certainly is. Like a bit of a spooky thing. But it's also, it's one of the things where the convenience of it is like crazy compared to not doing so. In my opinion. You don't have to do it. Whatever works for you, to be honest. As we've all established, we're all adults here. We have a... I was going to say progenitor. I'm not sure that's the right word to use, but of our own lives. But yes. These clouds could also be darker, but that's okay. I'm just going to turn down my darkness later. For now, let's just get these shapes out. So we know what we're doing. And then we can go over with darker brushes. The only problem I have with that is because of the way I framed it, it's quite difficult to actually see the concept of a carnival behind, but that's alright. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with this contact listing. I think this has changed up since last time. It has. I didn't like the haunted door idea. So instead we're making this a sort of twist on the mint chocolate chip background. This is like the haunted version of that carnival, I suppose, where we had the date with a bear. I'm not sure how much of a moon I want to block out, actually. But there's something about keeping a moon, I think, fully there so it actually looks like the eye. Zombie bear! Oh, if we have time, I'll do that. That's a good idea. Sorry, that's not brightness. What is a brightness slider? Dark, stormy clouds. That's perhaps a bit too dark. We just want a darker base to work off with. So when I lock a layer and I get my darker brush out, there's something to work with. You saying zombie bear has triggered a memory in my mind of a game which I don't know whatever became of it. I can't remember what it's called now, but it was like a... Is it called like Angry Bear or like Killer Bear or something like that? I don't know. I feel like in my head I remember it as basically being Hitman, except for you play as a giant like soft cuddly bear or something. And you just murder other plushy bears. Which, I wish there was more I could say about that, because I don't actually know if that game ever got released or something. But I feel like I remember watching a trailer for it when I was much, much younger and being like, whoa, I want to play this game. But at the same time, I don't know if it even exists. What's it called? Is it called Angry Bear? It's called like Angry Bear or Mad Bear or something like that, I think. I might not be doing the title justice, to be honest. That might not actually be what it's called, but I think this is fine. I don't think we need to do too complicated a background for the clouds, to be honest. The moon is the focal point, and a lot of this might be covered up anyway. This is just sort of more incidental stuff. I do at least want the colours to blend a bit better. I also do want to turn down the brightness of that sketch. Okay, so this is like the sky. I think I'll also have a moonlight layer just behind the moon here. Just to give it some sort of like sickening radiance, you know? Something soft, something fluffy, something staring. Because if I do this, it kind of, when I give this a sort of like white outline, it makes it look a bit more like the sort of bloodshot eye, which we're trying to sort of go here. And then maybe if we have time, we'll change up more things to have a sort of eye aesthetic. I don't want to do too many things with eye because I know it's definitely something which can unsettle people. I forgot what the fear is called, but like that fear of being watched. So we'll just be a little bit cautious of how hard we commit to a bit. As we all know, DeerDarling, family friendly, YouTuber and all that. Whoa, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Okay, Sky, then let's do Carn-evil. I don't really know what the difference between a carnival and a fairground is, but still. Do we want to do the sign and the fence separately? Or together? No, I think we probably want to do them together. So we'll just call it a fence for now. But we need something quite dark. Over here. Sweet. Do we want full opacity of this? Maybe. I think we probably want to turn down the softness. I think we'll blur the background anyway, but still. Scary carnival for the whole family to disappear. That's a great tagline. See, that's the thing I was saying before. Twisting the context of something to make it sound more horror themed. You got any others up your sleeve? That's a pretty good one, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, what if we put D into Five Nights at Freddy's? How about that? The biggest crossover you've never seen coming. Are they saying that? Five Nights at Freddy's is having a crossover with Dead by Daylight, aren't they? Wasn't that announced like a while ago? I remember seeing that like on a Reddit post and being like, what? In a good way. Am I a huge FNAF fan? No, not really, but I do appreciate at least its early iterations of games. Now it's become a behemoth beyond. Let's make it seem a little bit strange. No, hold on. We got a very sharp shape theme going on. Let's not introduce circles like that for no reason. Let's do this. It's like a double barrier thing. And I guess we'll colour this all in, now I think about it. And we'll just do the signage on top. I'm not sure if we're going to make it neon lights or not. Because I'm not sure if I want another secondary light source behind it. That I had to think about. Because obviously we have a main light source of a moon, which is going to basically rim light everything. We're probably going to have a sort of like spooky red light coming up from underneath, because that will give it a very unsettling energy. I don't know if I want the sign to also be lit up. Yeah, I think I talked myself out of it. What I do want though is I do want this cloud to, which I completely covered up by the way with my drawing. I'm gonna lower it down over here instead, just so it's visible. Okay, fence, and then let's put sign text. I think we'll choose a blood red. Make it a bit more sharp. I wonder if there's a way we can write something on here which is sort of like a, I was gonna say double entendre, that's not really what I mean, but something which like looks like it could be like, oh, carnival or something, but then it also, like the way it's covered up looks like, I don't know, killable. I can't figure that out and I'm not gonna sit down and think about it, so instead we're just gonna make it look like dripping blood, probably. How am I going to do this? I need to draw the eye first because I don't know where it's going to fit in. Carn-evil! Ooh, there we go. This is the wisdom of the masses right here. Why do I need to think of it? Someone else can think of it, and then I'll just copy it. And be like, yeah, I thought of that. That's a good one. But then I also now think about it, how to put the entire word carnival somehow into a sign, into the half that you can see. You know what'd be really cool is if we made these animated and I basically had it flicker back and forth between Carn-evil and Carn-evil. Maybe in a different life. Okay, so let's do this. Let's get that sort of red eye. Because I guess we'll shade it afterwards, or should we shade it now? No, let's shade it now. No, it's going to be backlit. So yeah, let's do it afterwards. I want it slightly off center so it's very clear that it's like looking at the viewer rather than it being like a static signpost. And I think we'll have separate eyelash stuff over the side in case I want some of it to move around, you know? Oh, I don't want it to go in front of the moon. Something like this. Anyway, anyone got any plans for Halloween? I don't think I do, but you know, the world is more than just me. Halloween parties or things like that. Halloween events people are going to. Actually, what day does Halloween even come on? Is it on Thursday? Yeah, it's Thursday. Haunted houses. Not a particularly common thing in the UK, sadly. Well, actually, no, hold on. There's a different type of haunted house, I suppose, in the UK, which is the actual, like, historically haunted, I suppose, which is not really the same thing. This looks a bit weird at the moment, but hopefully we're shading it will look okay. It's going to be blurred anyway, no one's going to be able to see it. Okay, so I sign text. Let's take the same red. Carn-evil. Evil. What if I just put evil here? So it's enough that people might look at it and be like, oh yeah, that's Carn-evil. But they spelled it wrong. This red should be more red. Because how is that going to look like blood otherwise? Okay, let's do that. With the sign text, let's make it bleed. I wonder if it's the easiest way to do it. Do you think fingertips are the easiest way to do it? Colour stretch? Like just like huge amounts of colour stretch? Oh yeah, this works. Evil. Okay, and then you just get, when you put some just like manual drips in. Just to make it a little bit more well, I don't know if realistic's the right word, but you know what I mean. Engrossing, engaging. A little bit more je ne sais quoi. Do we want the sign to have like a more of a border around it? Maybe we can make the eyelash border just like a sign border as well. I think if we do this though, we don't want it to be pure black. Probably what we want is the eyelash part itself to be red, and then we want this fence to be little bit paler. But maybe not that much paler. No, I don't know. I think it kind of looks better all as one colour. Or at least more closer in colour. So maybe let's do this. Make the eyelash even darker. We told our boss we'll do a Halloween party at work, but it's just a cover story for a surprise party for him. Oh, that's so sweet. I count on all of you for your silence. You know, the secret is shared between me, you, and anyone else who might be here, whether participating or lurking. That's right. As long as I don't know exactly where you are and where you work, you'll be good. I was thinking of making a joke of trying to like call out a random like place just for a second to make you go, wait a minute, does she know? But then I couldn't even think of a place. Because you're on 11 PM, right? So you're like, I don't know where you're necessarily watching from. Hold on, how many hours ahead is that? 7 hours ahead. Is that Australia? I feel like we had this conversation. No, because Australia's not 7 hours, right? Snitches will be brought to the carnival. That's so true. If anyone tells, if your boss ends up finding out, you know, send them to me. Or send them to the carnival. What was I gonna do? I immediately forgot. Oh yeah, let's do the rest of the carnival. Huh? Not Australia. Yeah, I was gonna say because hold on, plus 7 hours. Australia's like plus 11 or something. Plus 7 is around China sort of area, but a bit before China. Maybe like India or something. Does that make sense? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to have like a world map in my head. But anyway. I hope you have a lovely time celebrating your bosses. Well, I don't know. Is it like a birthday thing, or is it like a? Are you just like celebrating, just like a thank you, or like a? Maybe he just loves Halloween. All very possible things, and all very valid things, in my opinion. I've had to fence. I was like, what is that? See, I've done the problematic thing here where I've made everything such a dark colour that if I want to make anything stand out, I had to either go way darker or I need to make it brighter. No, I think it makes sense to go dark here. It needs to be dark silhouettes of like fairground things. But the clouds here are so dark already. So maybe let's get rid of the shadow thing. Right longitude, wrong latitude. Wait, hold on. Wait, which one's which? Wait, longitude are the vertical lines. So I'm in the right vertical column, but the wrong north-southness on the globe. Is that right way around? I don't even know. I don't have a world map in my mind, so I'm geographically uncultured. I think. What about be around that area? Because I don't think India's +6, right? So it's between India and China. Is the time zone of like +7. I think. Does that make sense? I don't even know if that makes sense anymore. Whatever. Let's just make sure I don't stop drawing. Never stop drawing. This feels like just like a weird like trivia game I'm doing. He took over the company 10 years ago, so we do a little party, we decided. Lovely. We love little parties. Who doesn't like a good sort of get together? Drinks, snacks. I mean, that's basically all there is really in a work party, to be honest. Sometimes it's party games, kind of depends what you're doing. I won't deign to imagine what the vibe is like, but it must be pretty good if you've got a nice sort of like office party going on for your boss. let's do this. Get like the outline of a roller coaster on here. You might be like, oh, DeerDarling, you are drawing this roller coaster part so terribly. And the answer is yes, I am, because it's going to be blurred, so no one will be able to tell in the end. I feel like there was something else I was going to say, but I can't remember what it is, so probably it wasn't important. That's how we draw people, except for we need to make them animals, so we just give them like ears like this. What other animals could we have? A rhino? Sure. I don't know what this is. A duck? Okay, there you go. Roller coaster. What else can we do? We can do the like tall dropping one. I forget what it's called. I don't know if it has a name. Does this type of roller coaster, like fairground attraction, have a name? One which like lifts you super high up and then drops you. There's not really a lot of space to put any of these in with the composition I've got here. I guess we could put this one like behind this one. Like, we got space here, but I can't put anything in here. So maybe the answer actually is let's just make this carousel one even bigger and go like over here maybe. Yeah, I think that's the answer. But I don't know how otherwise we're going to fill the space. And then we can put the death drop one like over here or something. It'll probably be quite small. What can be one of those like things which has like no. People aren't even going to be able to tell what this is by looking at it from a distance. But that's okay. I think that's okay. I'm not like this is the best work I've ever done. It's also been a while since I've last drawn, so but that's alright, that's alright. We're gonna do this, then we're gonna have a sort of, I guess I'll have rim lighting going on for everything, huh? Which is gonna make it very difficult to sort of shade things, I think, but that's okay. Honestly, this doesn't really need much shading, now I think about it. I think the only thing maybe we should shade is like we make this just a bit lighter just so it sort of pops. Or it looks like it's inset into the sign. Oh, we could do my favourite type, not my favourite type of shading, but a very fun type of shading. We can do the scratchy shading. That'd be perfect for us if we're going to do the scratch style later. You might be like, what does scratchy shading mean? Probably that means we'd have to make this eye a bit darker. But it means basically, we're scratching, but the shading becomes scratchy. To give it a very interesting texture, IMO. I like the foreboding sky, thank you. We do love, well, actually I was going to say we love a foreboding sky, I'm pretty sure that's not true. We do not love a foreboding sky. But we just get a smaller brush. And we just do this sort of like scratchy texture. I can't remember how I usually do it. Because this doesn't look right. I think we should get a more textured brush. When we do this sort of scratchy shading. Maybe one of these? Ugh. This one could be interesting. Okay. Let's try it with this. Okay. We just sort of go back and forth with this. And we just get some sort of lines to start scratching away. Short lines, that's a key, darlings, of scratchy. Very sort of like Tim Burton-esque or something, right? But this part, let's actually just shade normally first. Like this. It's gonna be quite hard to do scratchy shading on a small scale, but we can do it. Whoa! I thought I was KK sliding for a second. I was like, what? Plus, you won't even. Hold on, let's go with the sketch as well. Probably won't be able to see it properly. Oh, I should have done it with a moon in the sky. I don't know why I didn't do that. That's an oversight on my part. That's okay. We can fix it. You can't really tell in this part, but you can see it more in the eye. And you just make it. It's more about basically the density of your scratches. It's the shading more so than the actual colour you use. I think that's probably the best way to put it. No, that's probably fine. It's all good. Honestly, it's all going to be lost in the blur, so I shouldn't put too much thought into it. But yes, we can make a scratchy sky. I don't know why I didn't think about that. There's a more interesting way to sort of spice up the... Because you very nicely put the foreboding sky. But again, we have to remember, we're blurring everything, so a lot of it will get lost. And that's okay. We're just here to give it a little bit of texture before everything is lost to the ether, to the colour melding, to the colour blur. It's probably easier to do it with the moon shading as well. Sort of pierce through these colours. I guess it does a double thing of making it look even cloudier than I've actually drawn it in this place. Moonlight. Scratch around, scratch around. Come one, come all, for the greatest show that you've never seen before. I like aesthetic it gives reminds me of something. Could be Tim Burton, or if you've seen anything which is very sort of Tim Burton inspired, I think. I see it like, I think the most common place that people see it is like in Don't Starve, like a video game. Because that's like a reasonably popular game, which the entire sort of like drawing style is that aesthetic, isn't it? It's got these very sort of scratchy deliciously scratchy sort of like looking outlines, a sort of sketchy vibe, which really adds to the sort of horror element that Don't Starve has. But yeah, I believe people mostly call it sort of Burton-esque. We're trying to make this much more eye-shaped in the sky. So I'm sort of just trying to round out these corners. Like this. So it's got kind of an eye shape. I think I've removed a bit too much white here. I'm just going to cheat and take a soft brush to slowly make it sort of fade out. So it does have a bit of a blend. Okay. And then we are going to get rid of everything by blurring it all. How about that? So filter blur, Gaussian blur. Let's start with 60. How's that look? Okay. And I think what I'll do is I'll do a layer mask. Do I have a soft airbrush? I do. I have this part be a bit more in focus compared to the rest of it. Make it a bit more of a vignette, I suppose, sort of. weirdness. There's like a sense of unease of how blurry some things are. Like a weird waviness. Okay, I think that's fine. I think I raised a bit too much of a blur, to be honest. So still conceivable from this perspective, which is good. I actually think the shading of this one's going to be very easy because it's going to be completely, basically backlit. And rim lighting is actually quite easy to do shadow-wise. Or at least what I do. Get your shadow layer going. So we're going to do scratchy shading here as well, but oh, lock it to the correct layer. There we go. So this is going to be the main darkness layer, I think. And then basically we just sort of scratch and get rid of it. So I guess what we should do is we should start with what parts are going to be rimlit. Like this. And then we'll go through and make it scratchy afterwards. It'll be easier this way. We're also going to cheat, as usual, on the eyes and make the eyes more lit up than they should be. Because the eyes have a focus. Eyes are always, not always a focus, but for a large part are a focus. Get some more shading down over here on the sleeves. Something like that's not too important, but it's too perfect because this is the darker shadow layer. Which means that we can go over it later for more shadows, like the shadows down here. This is just for things which will probably be more immediately in the light. That probably would not be. I think I will do this part even though it wouldn't really be directly in the light. I'll do this part just because it gives a sort of greater outline, I think, to things. We might get rid of this hidden. Well, we'll come back to that one. Okay, let's make it scratchy. The Itchy and Scratchy Show from Simpsons. You're not really going to be able to notice it on this top hat, sadly. But still. I think you'll notice it not being there. It's one of those things which you like subconsciously notice, isn't it? If you're like, oh, this texture's not the same as it is everywhere else. So sometimes you gotta suffer a little bit for your art. I think I'm making a lot of these lines a bit too long. Gotta make them short, gotta make them punchy, gotta make them to the point. It also does make it kind of look like hair and fur on fur, so slight benefit. Making it look more detailed than it actually is. I'm not actually shading each hair individually. I'll cheat a little bit. Put a bit of shading in there, why not? Once I go quiet mode, not for really any reason, it just is just a little bit of concentration here. Do I need to? I guess not. I guess it is more of a mindless thing, to be honest, but I don't really have anything on my mind to talk about. And I've got any good conversation topics, starters here that I can pick apart and then talk about for 7 hours. 7 hours? That's a bit long. I don't know how long I could keep a conversation going for, to be honest. 7 hours seems like excessive. I don't know if I want to talk for 7 hours straight. That seems, now I think about it, like a heck of a long time, huh? I wonder if we should just put some blood on these gloves. Oh, it's a bit late now. Halloween. Do I have Halloween anecdotes? I feel like a lot of Halloween anecdotes I talk about in Animal, I've spoken about already in Animal Crossing. Not that that's a bad thing, because I don't think there's huge overlaps between streams and Animal Crossing. It almost feels like the viewer base of the streams is like different to the YouTube VODs. Well, not VODs, but the YouTube recording videos. And I also have not responded to YouTube comments for like so long now, and I need to do that. Maybe I'll do that after this, I don't know, depends how much time I got. I say, knowing I'm sort of lying once again. Okay, but the provisional light is easy to do because there's not going to be a lot of areas which are not going to be in darkness. Oh yes, I should do this as well. Nice. Some good texture. I forgot to do this part. What Halloween anecdotes do I have? I feel like most of my Halloween anecdotes are... because it's not celebrated as much in the UK. Oh, I forgot to give her makeup. I should do that afterwards. Not celebrated as much in the UK as it is in, like, in America. But I have been trick-or-treating once. When I was much younger. I must have told this story like numerous times. But it was just a random sort of mention from my friend being like, oh, he's going trick-or-treating later today, he's got like a vampire outfit. And I was like, oh, I've never been trick-or-treating. And he was like, oh, you should come with. And then I remember having to do the scariest thing of all of Halloween was me at like 6 years old or something, calling my friend on the phone to speak with his mother to say, is it okay if I come with you trick-or-treating? Because I checked with my parents and they're okay with it. He was like my best friend at the time, so of course his mum was like, oh yeah, of course, DeerDarling, you can come along. So I did. I didn't really have like a good costume or anything, but I remember what I did is I dressed up as a ghost, quote quote, but not with like the bed sheet over the head. I just wore, I think we had like white, did I have white face paint? I can't remember. But like I wore like one of my dad's tops, which was like obviously very big on me as a child, and like I had it like with like the long sleeves and everything. I wore some white trousers. And I was just meant to be like a very terrible looking ghost. I didn't even have, like I remember, like my friend had like this really cool like pumpkin, sort of like Halloween trick-or-treat bag. And I think I just had like something on like Holland and Barnet or something, just like the gift bag. The shopping bag that they give you afterwards. I can't remember. I remember it was some sort of green cardboardy bag. I don't know why that stuck in my memory, but many things randomly do, to be honest. Yeah, I'm gonna just do a bit of soft light. That's awesome. It was very wholesome. It was a great memory of time. I even remember my friend being like, "Whoa, your costume's so good." Despite the fact that obviously it was just like something me and my parents threw together in the limited time we had. Imagine your child coming home and be like, "I'm going trick-or-treating. Give me a Halloween costume." And you as a parent being like, did he trick? What we did trick once or twice, kind of. Like, obviously the tricks are not actually tricks. I remember, like, because I didn't really know what trick or treat was. My parents are Chinese, and like Halloween, at least growing up for them, was like not a thing, so they didn't really understand it. And my knowledge of it was from like cartoons, I guess. So I didn't really know what tricking was, but I just know that trick or treat is a thing. And most people give you treats, but then I remember my friends had like this contingency plan. sort of like, oh, if someone tries to trick us, what we're going to do is I've got this fake cobweb, which basically, it looks nothing more like cotton wool, I suppose, like sticky cotton wool, and it's like, we're going to throw it at them if they don't have any candy to give us. And we did it once. I remember when we trick-or-treated like my next door neighbor at the time, who I was like really good friends with, and then those two, they were like two boys who were like slightly older than me, and the eldest brother was just like, oh, I want to see what the trick is, and then we like chucked a, we were like, trick, we like chucked a spider web at him, and he was like, ah. That's a good memory. And then the other person we tricked is no joke, it was my best friend at the time's grandma, I can't really remember, where she wanted to get like a picture of us. I forgot about this. She wanted to get like a picture of us or something, but we were just like, trick or treat, and she was like, oh, let me get a picture first, and then my brother was like, oh, that's a trick, and then it was like, oh, chuck, because we went trick or treating with like another friend as well, so the three of us, chuck for cobwebs. I remember she got very like surprised, like, because I chucked it, and then like it like landed on, I don't even know what this, but like this like shoulder breast part area, and then she was just like, oh, what's this? That does not translate well as like an anecdote speaking, but you know, it's a very wholesome memory in my mind, because I was just like, oh, this trick thing must be very serious. What should we have to do? Anyway, I also remember I fell over at one point while I was trick-or-treating, and I spilled all the sweets in my bag just everywhere. And I was like, no, my sweets. Which is also crazy because I don't really have much of a sweet tooth. I also didn't really care about the sweets. I don't know if I even ate all the sweets that I got from trick-or-treating that day. Yeah, and it's a very sort of rare combination, I suppose, for a child to not really have much of a sweet tooth. Even to this day, I don't have as much of a sweet tooth. Not that I'm like, I don't eat sweet things or don't enjoy it. I just don't really seek it out, I suppose. Okay, that's a good preliminary shadows. If anything, I might make it a little bit darker, I think, and a bit more red. So, no, maybe that's a bit too red. A tiny bit darker. And then we're going to do some dark shadows as well. Dark shadow. Like the guy from My Hero Academia, whose name I can't remember. But this is where the scratchiness becomes quite annoying to be able to implement. What else do we do from that day of trick-or-treating? I'm not sure if I remember much else. Oh, this is like a really dark shadow I've done here. That's like, it was like way too dark. I was just looking at it. Okay, let's get the shadows in, and then let's turn it into a scratchy shadow. I have this memory of wrapping someone's car with toilet paper, but unclear if it was Halloween or just a random prank. That's a sort of prank you see, I feel like I see on TV shows or something that people do, but like I've never actually heard of anyone in real life actually doing it. Just like toilet papering a house or something. Like obviously they must be rooted in some reality at some point, but I don't know, I've literally never heard of anyone like TPing anything before. As like a prank. I did like the idea it was just like a completely random thing or something. He was just like, oh, I just got all this leftover toilet paper, I don't know what to do with it. Oh, I know, let's just really annoy some random person for no reason. Poor person whoever had to untangle all that. But yeah, that's like a common thing you see in media properties, right? And people just like throwing toilet paper at houses to prank them, I guess, to trick them. Which honestly sounds like an absolute pain to clean up. I don't know. Again, it's never really happened to me, so I can't really comment on it. Nor have I ever seen it. But wait, it's not just toilet paper. It's like toilet paper and eggs, isn't it? Like people just like chuck eggs at people's houses. That's crazy. Because surely you can't clean that all up properly, and you'll just get like rotten egg smells, and you're just like, what the heck? Which I guess is kind of the point. I'm not sure if you can tell, I'm not a very good prankster, or much of a prankster, so I think it's all a little bit lost on me. I don't know how much more body shadows we want up here. I might do a shadow here, but even then it's going to be rather minimal. Something like that. Yeah, I don't know how if Halloween is again much bigger here in the UK anymore, but it feels like, I don't know, I don't really even see many people like trick-or-treating really. And not even for like lack of like children or families in the neighbourhood or something. Or maybe they just don't come to this area, I don't know. Entirely possible, when I think about it. Okay, let's start adding some scratchiness. But yeah, entirely possible they just don't come over here to trick or treat. Also, I don't put any Halloween decorations up, because I don't want to signify, oh, come trick or treat at my house, because I have no sweets here whatsoever. Some shadows going on. What other Halloween anecdotes I have? I remember a lot, like I used to go to these like Halloween like youth groups, like I'm trying to think how to describe it. I guess they were like Christian youth groups or something like that. So I went to like not a fully religious school, but like obviously it was like a religion of choice, I suppose, in that school. And a lot of the times they would hold these sort of like youth group like party celebrations, I suppose, all the people to go there, and my friends always went, and they would always invite me because I was their friend, obviously. It's no big thing where I grew up either. Yeah, that's fair. I do think that's a commonality between a lot of countries, to be fair. But it's cool to see it become more of a thing, because it's such a different holiday to ours. Anyway, sorry, back to the anecdote. But yeah, they're this like Christian youth group or whatever always used to host these Halloween sort of like little party things. Honestly, they were quite nice fun times. I remember asking one of the organisers once, why aren't there more like Halloween decorations? And they were like, oh, because there's like a lot of young kids here who can find things like spiders and bats and stuff scary, so we don't put Halloween decorations out. And I was like, you could put at least like some cobwebs up or something. And then, we're very patient, I suppose, leader was like, oh no, sorry, we can't do that, dear darling. And I was like, oh, this sucks. But that's clearly, now I think about it in retrospect, someone who, they probably put Halloween decorations up once before, but then got like complaints from parents about it scaring a like 2-year-old child who, I don't know, maybe that's a bit young for a youth group to be at a Halloween party, but still. And then me comes along, where's all the Halloween decorations? And we just go, oh, sigh. There's no winning. I also feel like I accidentally got rid of a colour I was using here. No, still fine. Okay. Anyway, I don't know what the rest of this anecdote was. Very just fun times. We did like these like random sort of like what's the word, like activities. You'd go around like in a circular pattern in a store with a group of friends. Like there was a set order which you go around. I mean, you like took part in all these like little silly activities. Like one of them I remember. Like it was also crazy because you actually got money from this instead of actually candy, from the one I remember. But this activity was basically like the lady put out like a bucket of water, and she put like penny coins at the bottom, like a 2 pence, 5 pence, or something like this. I can't remember. and what you had to do is you basically had to drop coins into a bucket, and if it ended up like floating down and like landing on a coin, you would like get that coin, and if it like completely covered that coin or something, you would like get double. I can't remember. I don't remember. Anyway, I got no money from it whatsoever. None of my friends did either, because it's impossibly difficult to get a coin to land on something as it drifts through water for a bucket. But then the lady who was running it was telling me, it was like, oh, one of the girls who did it got like £5 from it. And in my mind, being like 8 or something, I was like, £5? That's crazy. How do I get £5 from it? I mean, I was just like, I swear, next year I'm going to practice this all the time so I can get £5 from this one random Halloween stall. During this Christian youth group organised thing. She was also probably just like lying. That probably like never happened. But I just find it funny to think about. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's kind of... I don't know what the moral of it. I guess it's kind of amusing how kids view amounts of money. Like, whoa, £5, £10, this is a huge amount. And then like nowadays we're like, oh man, buying new glasses is like £200 or something. Anyway, yeah, there's not really a moral there. That's just a story. Do I have another story? Yeah, I've got tons of stories. I've anecdotes up, or anecdotes galore. Another activity I remember from that one is basically you had to blind you paired up, and one of you was blindfolded and the other was not blindfolded, and yeah, that's right. And the blindfolded person had to try and feed like a spoonful of jelly, or jello if you're American, to your partner. I remember that one was actually really funny. I also remember hating it at the time, but in retrospect, that was funny. It was so stupid. In the best way possible. Because I'm sure all the people who worked there were basically just volunteers looking to make some kids' evenings with some fun activities, right? So, I can't hate on that. That's a lovely thing. What other activities do I remember? I don't really remember much else. I think we made cookies with like red icing, because it was meant to be like blood or something. That sounds right, vaguely. What else? Halloween anecdotes. I think it's of Halloween, at least with the British schooling system, is you never go to school on Halloween, because it's always like during a holiday. Because wait, is that true? No, maybe I think of April Fools. Hold on. Is it the school time right now for British kids? I don't even know. I guess it might be a half term. So I guess it must eventually sometimes land on Halloween. I don't remember ever coming to school on Halloween though, which is weird. I'm sure I must have, because it's not like you get the day off, but still. Oh no, wait, I must have. Wait, hold on. My first anecdote was literally about me talking about Halloween in primary school. I guess we just never did anything, huh? I guess I was trying to think of secondary school stories, but I just don't have any. I guess people just didn't care about Halloween at that point. A true shame. Even though the shadows don't make as much sense on this part of the face, I'm going to still add them in, just because I think it gives it an interesting, evil looking sort of texture. Which is kind of what we're going for. Other Halloween anecdotes. I've done Halloween in Japan. Not as like a trick-or-treating thing, but I've been to the Shibuya place, the Halloween parade or whatever. Is it kind of cool? It's kind of cool. It kind of seems like it's more for people there who are to like drink and party and have a good time. It's just like a lot of people in Halloween costumes, to be honest, and it's insanely busy. But that's kind of interesting. You get to see some cool costumes there, here and there. Is that good enough shadow-wise? I think that's probably okay shadow-wise. Let's get some rim lights up in here. Moon rim light. Soft light maybe? I'm not sure what we'll go with. This we actually might not make super scratchy because I don't think it's going to work as a scratchy rim light. What? Oh, I didn't lock it. There you go. I was like, how am I drawing on my background? It's not possible. More Halloween stories. More Halloween stories. There's probably more. It's hard to think of them, I think, off the top of your head. I remember Halloween in university, if that helps. There's not much of a story to that. It literally was just like a regular old party, to be honest. You might be like, what was your costume? It wasn't much. I just like had a black dress on. No, actually that's not true, because I made like a black... Wow, this hand is like messed up. But I can't be able to fix it, so it's really just the thumb is too long. So I guess that should be an easy fix, to be fair. What was I going to say? What was it? Space White? Space White. It was just a Halloween party, you know, just like drinking, pre-drinks at someone's place. Oh yeah, I had like a black dress. Oh, that was it. I got like a fake blood and basically did sort of like bloody tears running down my face as my outfit. Which is such a... By the way, if you ever need like a really simple Halloween costume, fake blood is your friend. Just get some fake blood, just throw it on your face. Bada bing, bada boom. People will be like, whoa, you went all out for this makeup. Your makeup for Halloween, and you just get to be like, yeah, I did. And really, it takes like seconds to put it on, to be honest. So it really shouldn't get as much credit as I got for it, but... Okay. How are we doing for time? We're actually doing very well for time. I'm actually speeding through, probably because of shading, and this one's actually quite easy. Compared to a lot of the other previous ones I've done. Anything else interesting happened at Halloween University party? Not really. It was just, it generally was just like a normal uni sort of party. Surprising amount of people don't dress up, which I think is a shame. But I don't know, maybe that's more of a British thing than necessarily the American one. My aunt and uncle used to do this big Halloween house every year with like 100 decorations in the yard and garage and in the front door. It's a lot of fun. That's cool. Like, one thing which is great about the fact that, you know, America goes so hard with Halloween is the fact that I see so many like photos of people being like, oh, this is like what my neighborhood or what I did for Halloween this year, and every single time it's like been crazy. I look at it and be like, that is insanity for Halloween decoration in the best way possible. To the extent where I wonder how many calls people get for Halloween decorations for being like, this actually looks like messed up. Like, this actually looks like it could be a hazard or whatever. I just suddenly had a random flashback to the not Miley Cyrus episode, but the Hannah Montana episode where they did Halloween, where it was like the father and son wanted to have like a kind of like spooky Halloween, but then their neighbor was going to show them up and have like an even spookier Halloween decorations, and then they went all out and then they ended up scaring some children, and then the children like hated it, and then it turns out that the neighbor actually made like a really fun Halloween time for them, and they were just like, what the heck? You can do that? Okay, and then we want red underlight. hard light maybe? I don't know. What should you just do? Soft shadows. This we don't make scratchy. Because we could make it scratchy, I suppose, but I don't think it looks very good. Grim light scratchy. You do something like this, so then you get the impression there's like something reddish going on back there. Because it gives a sort of feeling of danger, doesn't it? Might be a bit too strong on red, to be honest. I've only ever seen Halloween stuff in the US, so it'd be cool to see how other countries do it. It might honestly be a little bit disappointing, because I think US is the country which definitely goes the most for Halloween. Because I have a feeling that if you've, I mean, especially with your story of your aunt and your uncle doing like big Halloween house decorations, literally never seen a big Halloween house decoration in the UK. People go kind of biggish for Christmas, but for Halloween, like I'm probably on my hand the amount of times I've seen people actually decorate stuff in the UK Halloween. To be fair, I'm sure there's more in like central London. I don't live in central London, so and there's places with events, but yeah. If anything, you can appreciate how good you got it in the US for the Halloween celebrations. You've got like, isn't there like a thing of like spooky corn mazes or something, right? Not a thing in UK. I definitely have always wanted to go on one, right? Because that sounds like a fun time. No, I guess go on one's the wrong word. Yeah, again, maybe I'm making the wrong assumption here as well. Like the same way I'm like using media to further my own perception of what people in America might do for Halloween. Oh, I went to be one on Friday. I take it all back. See, it's all true. It's all true. The spooky corn maze. They look like so much fun, I would say. Yeah, so I kind of wish it was more of a thing in the UK, but also we don't really have like huge plots of land, I suppose, UK to do corn. Well, I guess you do, but then it's not very accessible. So then I wouldn't even be able to go to it, I suppose, in the end. Let us do a tiny bit of foreground. Red light. Something like this, but not nearly as intense. Okay, I think that works. I think a final thing to do is we need to do scratch effect on the line art. I don't remember what brush I used on the line art, to be honest, but is it this one? Possibly. But this is the fun part, for true scratchiness, because we do this and basically just go over the line art with a lot of scratchy lines. But yeah, the corn mazes look... The corn mazes or the haunted houses, they all look super fun. It's hard to find them as much here in the UK. Not that they don't sort of exist, but the UK ones all tend to be very sort of historical, like paranormal things, where it's like, oh, you'll see a ghost if you go in this one. I went with the same aunt and uncle that had a house. Your aunt and uncle must love Halloween. It was pretty scary. Actors would jump out with you with chainsaws and stuff, or pretend to be a still mannequin and scream at you and run into your face. See, that sounds so fun. That sounds great. Frankly, none of the actors grab me, but I've heard of that in past they would grab you. I think that's fair, because it ends up being, I'm sure, like a... what's the word? I was going to say insurance nightmare, but that's not the word I wanted. A liability nightmare. For if they, like, physically, like, touch you or whatever. And yes, they love Halloween. That's so cool. Someday. I went to Japan once with a friend, and we went to an amusement park called Fuji-Q, which is like right next to Mount Fuji essentially. But the main reason we wanted to go there is because it had, well, at least I wanted to go there, my friend maybe not so much, is it had what was meant to be like the biggest haunted or the scariest haunted house. I don't know if in the world or whatever, but it's like a huge one. Where it's like multi-story and it's like super spooky and scary, and I was like, we have to do this, sounds so fun. And I didn't even go in Halloween season, I went like in summer, which to be fair, in Japan they actually, you know, summer is sometimes also known for its ghost story, so I guess that's also kind of fitting. But the saddest part is we went there and it was just like, oh, the Halloween house, the haunted house is closed for renovations for this week, and I was like, no. So we didn't get to go on it. But yeah, anyway, the long and short of it is that sounds super cool. Like, I've been to, last year I think, I went to like a Fright Night, which is basically an amusement park in London. They have like a sort of like Halloween-ish sort of event thing, and that was kind of cool. Like, they had their equivalent, like, we didn't have a huge corn maze or anything, but they had like a sort of mazy thing which you walked through, and there would be like actors in outfits sort of trying to spook you, except it's not as spooky because it's not like they're busting out the walls or whatever with chainsaws or whatever. They're just sort of like roaming around, and then they'll sort of do like a whoom stomp in your direction to sort of try and startle you. But me and the friend I was with, not so easily startled, I suppose, so we were just like, wow, it's really cool. Oh, actually, I did go to a haunted house once when I was in South Korea. In that same holiday where I was going to Japan, I also went to South Korea with his friend for a few days, and we went to an amusement park in a shopping centre called Lotte World, and they had like a haunted house in there. I don't remember much out. I don't think there were live actors there or anything in it. They just had things that you'd like turn the corner and something would like animatronic would pop out and go like, ah. Yeah, it's cool. Fright Fest are fun. I saw one on YouTube ages ago. I think it must have been in America as well or something, where it's basically, I forgot to do the makeup. Let's do the makeup now, before I forget. I guess it should be just like blood red. What else would it be? But of like this haunted house, no, haunted event where basically it's just like a big open field or whatever, and there's just like actors walking around in like their haunted house, their haunted sort of like outfits, right? And they just go up to you and sort of scare you. I'm trying to do like an interesting makeup shape. Something like this. Does that make sense? I don't know. That's like a crazy eyeshadow shape. If someone came out with this eyeshadow, I'd be like, what on earth is going on? So remember a kids event at a temple in the summer. The kids had to search and pick up coins in the graveyard to get some small presents for, and some people waited their dressed as ghosts or monsters. The children were scared so much. Aww. That honestly sounds like a great time. Like I think I would thoroughly enjoy that as a kid. Actually, I don't know, because I don't think I liked horror things as much when I was a child. But I don't know, like a flick switched to my brain when I became like a young adult, and I was like, yes. I was gonna ask if that was a Halloween event, but I just realised you said it was a kids event in the temple during summer. It was honestly a wild time. Like, as long as the kids had fun. And that sounds like a great old, grand old time. Oh yeah, wasn't I gonna do a broken heart? As like a... little face makeup decoration thing. Oh no, I was gonna do tears. That was it. I was gonna do tears. The smaller ones refused to go if I would not go with them, but I just made sure we ran into all the scares. That's real older sibling energy right there. I don't know, like, if you are an older sibling or something, or if you are an older sibling, but say older sibling coded. Like a very unhelpful guide or something. If anything, they should turn that into like an annual thing and just be like, ooh, it's a spook fest in summer, you know? I'm gonna also get rid of this shadow. This one on her cheek because it does not look good. Just reduce it a little bit. Everything looks better without lipstick. What about just like a bit of blood? Nah, let's just leave that like that. Let's not overcomplicate things. We could put a little bit of a shimmer on the makeup to be fair though. I won't do it on the shadow layer, I'll just do it on this layer to be honest, I can't be bothered. I think it was annual but I moved away. Huh. Shame, that sounds like a very funny time to be honest. Not because it was scary. I mean, I wasn't thinking it until you said it. That's like a fun little, like, sort of village event. I'm not really sure what it's for necessarily. Hunting for coins in a graveyard seems. Okay, just sort of find what red I'm using for this. I don't know if it was some sort of particular event it was celebrating. That sounds interesting. Like a spooky treasure hunt. Yeah, you know what? I can get down with that. There's an amusement park here called The Great Escape that does a fright fest every year with actors that walk around and scare people like a chainsaw guy. That's fun. That sounds like a great time. I wonder how fun it is to be one of those actors, like the scare actors. I'm not saying that, like, because it sounds a bit sadistic, I suppose, if I go scaring people is fun. But, like, scaring people in those controlled environments where people have signed up to be scared sounds like a really fun time. For both parties. He's the only one I remember, though. Oh. Well, he's had a lasting impression on you, so he must have done his job very well. It's very weird sketching that sort of makeup like that. Okay. Scratchy line art, scratchy line art. Where'd I get to? Around here, I guess. If you're all gonna be some scare actors, what would you dress up as? I think a poltergeist is always a very fun one. Or maybe because of my flexibility, I should be like the possessed spirit or something. It's definitely sadistic. It takes a certain type of person to make little kids cry like that. And true, it's hard not to remember chainsaw. What did I do? Oh no. If you say it's sadistic and it's like almost approved, you've got the cool Halloween aunt and uncle. So you've been like brought up with Halloween. I'm also going to cheat with a line art over here to not completely cover up the eye. I'm going to basically do like a million eyelashes sort of coming out. And that'll make it look sort of scratchy, but it's not actually a scratchy. So I don't have to ruin the nice thing we've got going on there with the eye. guess I wasn't really imagining young children and making them cry. What a scary thing. I was more imagining like young adults or something. Haunted Night might be a cool Halloween costume. That is a cool one. I don't know if you mean like a Dullahan, like a headless horseman. Oh no, you actually probably just mean like a haunted suit of armor, right? That would be a cool one. Well, what else is a very cool one? I think anything which goes into like the Eldritch sort of level is pretty cool. I actually think I'm gonna not do the scratchy line out on the mouth because I don't think it looks very good. There's the rules of art. You can pick and choose exactly what you apply where. Like one of those full suits. That'd be cool. It must be an absolute nightmare to walk around in like an actual full like suit of armor though. I cannot imagine how tiring that must be. Did the song just go ayo at me? Going. Be a good scare though, like standing stiffly when moving spookable. Oh, absolutely. You could do it like Weeping Angel style. I don't know if people have seen Doctor Who. But there's an enemy in Weeping Angels which are basically like musical statues where if you look at them they don't move, but if you turn around they start following you. You could do that with like the suit of armor, where they'd be like, oh, it's just a suit of armor, and then they turn around and you just like clank, 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 and they turn around and you're not moving, but you're closer. I love that. I love the creeping sensation of horror much more than I love the jump scare horror. That's what you want. I'm thinking about what I'm saying. I'm just like, oh, you know, the best type of horror is just like gaslighting people into questioning their own perception of reality. That's what I'm here for. Shifting along. yeah, exactly. You get it. You pick up what I'm putting down. Or if it's like a haunted house thing, which they have to like loop around a lot, and they're like, has that suit of armor always been there? You know. Or you just have like 50 suit of armor. You spook them with a suit of armor, then I've got to be much more conservative, I think, with a scratchiness over here. And then you have a later part of the Haunted Mansion, which has like 50 suits of armor all like lined up in the wall. And then they'll just be so paranoid about every single suit of armor they walk past. They're going to think that each one is a spooker. But then eventually they'll be in a false sense of security where they'll be like, oh, none of these are the actual spooky suit of armor. Then boom. Whatever number that is, that's what the suit of armor is. Yeah, whole hall of them will be fun. What else would be fun? I don't know. I feel like I'd like to dress up as something, as a scarer which has a very elegant costume. So I feel like my scare, I don't have the passion to be able to yell and scream at people, I think, very well. I would have to do like a very sort of understated kind of horror. Like a very creepy horror. So like where you're like, something is really off here, but you can't tell what. But that would be like a real slow burn. I don't know if that would make sense in like a haunted mansion sort of area. I've got to be more conservative with the scratchiness here as well. It doesn't look very good if I do it like that. I think I make a kid cry on accident and feel bad and quit. I think, like, I remember reading once that there's like an unwritten like code of honor or something with haunted houses where if they have like if a kid is definitely like too young for them to be here, like the actors in the haunted house would just like straight up not scare them whatsoever. not scare the party, because it's not the kid's fault that whoever like dragged them in there or whatever, and they're too young for it. So maybe you could be the honourable haunted knight who doesn't spook the kid who's scared just by existing or something. Not just by existing, that's not what I meant. Just by being there. Oh, as long as I'm not so dark, I can't actually see what I'm doing. Oh, we're getting there. It's always very painful doing a scratchy line art like this. There's just so many lines. Sometimes you can't really see who's ahead, but just know that they're coming so kids can get accidentally scared. That's fair. We'll walk with them through and tell the scarers to stop, like the scarers don't know that a kid's coming. That's fair, that's fair. I guess you would need some sort of more thought out system rather than seeing if it's a kid and then not, or scaring them. I think that makes sense. Some sort of coordinator coming through who knows the scares are coming and sort of goes first. And then if the people see it's that coordinator, that tour guide, or they're like, oh, don't scare these people. Or at least don't do anything particularly spooky. Just sort of like stand there. Yeah, I like a radio. Intercom. Not intercom, earpieces. That's what I meant. To allow communication. That's probably getting like too up there for coordination. I remember reading, I can't remember where, maybe it must have been online somewhere, but that like they were talking about how their haunted house has like scaredy cat hours where you can go to it and the people won't jump out and scare you, but the atmosphere will still be the same, like all the decorations will still be the spooky decorations and all that. So it's perfect for people who are like, oh, I want to see like the spooky vibes and all that, but I don't want to be jump scared and fear for my life. Because that's great for kids. That's great for people who are too easily scared, but still want to have some Halloween fun. Yes, I heard the same thing about one I went to. Yeah. That seems like a great idea, you know? Why not? Okay, on Sunday it's ghoul free or something. Ghoul free Sunday. We love that. I don't know how I'm going to do this chain. Scratchy. Keep quite minimal, I suppose. It's really quite scratchy. I also can't really see anything I'm drawing in here. Had to catch your name in that, but I don't remember. That's fair enough. Oh, okay, getting there. We're halfway through. This is why I moved on to the shading so quickly, because I knew this part would take forever. What happened to our friend who's in not Australia? Non-word. They're still there? Haven't bought a sneak yet? This is halfway, it looks almost finished. Oh, the line art's... The line art's halfway. the full art's basically finished. I don't tend to add more. I mean, I could add more, but I'm not going to. Each of these splash screens but have a general scope of about 4 hours long. I am flattered by it, but you thought I meant it the other way. And I was like, whoa, how much more can I add to this? I guess I could. But alas, there is no time. It's also a spooky thing because I need to draw thumbnail arts for my next series as well. The YouTube series, that is. Because I just finished recording the second last episode of Stray. But I've not started a thumbnail art for the series which is coming after it. But I do need to. It's hard to find time to draw sometimes, you know? Oh, my eyes are getting twisted. Just sort of like staring at this thing. My wrist is going to be so tired. That's right. It's all for art. All for the creation of art. Why else do we do all this? For beauty. For inspiration. That's pretty good. I do want to give some sort of background to make a pop. I don't know if that's going to look good though. Oh, it kind of works. It looks very sort of Don't Starve-esque, doesn't it? Actually kind of works. Maybe I might not do pure white. I might do a slightly darker white. And I think probably what I also need to do, I also need to make just the background darker. Not sleeping yet. Still too interesting to listen to anecdotes. I'm flattered. I'm flattered. Okay, just make things a little bit darker. Do I want to keep a black line up? I think I probably do, because I think that's the most sort of like poppy, isn't it? I might even double up the scratchiness layer. What if I also did a white scratchiness layer? Hold on. Am I cooking or am I not cooking? Like, what if I go around with another sauce? Not pure white, I guess. I think that kind of works. Just even more scratchiness. I wanted your scratchiness to go with your scratchiness. But now even the outlines are scratchy. Why did I choose such a blue white instead of a red white? I don't know. We can change it. It's not like we are beholden to the first option we chose. Just realised there's a Ferris wheel on my back. Yeah. A very low rendered Ferris wheel. Definitely sacrificed a bit more of a background here than the other places, but that's because all the scratchiness takes forever. Imagine this is a beach amusement park, but you drew but when it gets creepy. I think we can make that canon. You know, in the summer, that amusement park is very cute. You can go on like nice summery dates there and everything. And at Halloween time, it becomes a haunted place. You don't want to stay there too long, otherwise your soul will get consumed. Oh, keep going. The thing with this is you can't stop. As soon as you stop and you take a little break, you're just like, that's it, I'm not going to come back to this. But no, we want to come back to this. We want it to finish. We want want it to be at the end. Because look at this texture. Look at this delicious texture which is on this. Oh, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Don't develop carpal tunnel though. Make sure to use your elbow, your whole arm. Don't use your wrist. So you scratch, scratch, scratch away. Almost there, almost there. Cool. I think that works. If we put the text back. The text is not going to pop out very well. I think we actually have to change the colour of the text as well. I'm not sure what colour to though. Or maybe we can make it work. We do red and then we give it a border. I think we also make it a little bit smaller as well. I'm also not sure if a black border makes more sense. I think it works pretty well. What else can we add to give us all unease spookiness? We've got about 15 minutes before this stream's gonna end. Just got a phone notification. I don't know if this is something I need to pay attention to or not. Gonna ignore that for now. What else can we add? Maybe we just have a stronger vignette going around the place, the entire thing, to make it almost look like it's someone who's like closing their eyes almost. We do it like this and it's like a heavy eyelids coming out. This is what you see. I almost want to blur D a little bit as well. Maybe the entire thing. We'll see how it looks. Copy paste, merge down those layers, get a bit of a Gaussian blur. Not too strong. And then I think we do the same technique with a layer mask. Because we want basically the outside bits to feel blurry. Feels like someone's heavy eyelids. I know it's covering up a lot of work I've already done, but still. Sometimes that's what you gotta do. There you go. I think that's pretty spooky. Honestly, I think we could blur this a little bit more, if especially we're using this vignette effect. Maybe add another 15 blur to this. This works, I think. There you go. This is our Halloween thumbnail art. Again, I think maybe it's a little bit smaller. So I'll pop it here. I think we might go with a white. Now the thing is, the white's not very readable from a distance. At least black is quite readable, because you can read it when it's that small. There we go. Let's save this. Week 3. 50% scaling. What do I normally title the final one? Oh, I just typed it like this, okay. Oh, I didn't turn the text off, turn off the text. Because this is what we'll be using for the splash screen, the title screen for the next month or so. Do I do it 100? I'll probably do it 100%. I think you should upload like a non-thumbnail version. Let me see what that's details better too. That's actually been requested quite a few times, where people have been like, you should upload your thumbnail art somewhere. And I've been meaning to at some point to like collate them all in one place. Which I really should at some point. I used to like upload them to Twitter. The thing is, Twitter does a lot of compression on images, so it doesn't tend to work so well. Yeah, I mean, I will. I should. I think that is a good idea. I just need to get around to actually doing it. I don't know what I'd upload them on. Maybe DeviantArt or something. Not sure what the Tumblr might be okay. I don't know. I think DeviantArt's better as a more like a repository of the thumbnail arts, but at some point I will. FA? Yeah, I could do FA. I could just put them in Discord as well. Actually, I never really thought about that. But that's not, Discord's not very good for like an archive. I'll have a think about it. I think it, because I do think that's a good idea. I do have art accounts, of course, but not under DeerDarling name, so I'm not sure if that will be what I end up posting these things under. But there you go, everyone. We've done some Halloween art. Have a bit of a stretch. Everyone, stand up, shake off those legs. Google Drive forward. That could work. I'll do that at some point, I say, non-committally. Knowing me, maybe I'll not do it for like years or something. But someone asked me that, I think. It probably has been years ago now. I really should do it, but it's just hard to find the time. Very good to see you process. So thank you for joining me for a process. Thank you for hanging around with all these anecdotes. I apologise for a shorter stream today, but I will be out and about this evening. So I'm glad if you could stick along. I'm glad that everyone managed to tag along. Non-word, you can finally go to sleep. Very weenie stream. But hopefully next week, well actually, because next week I'm busy on Sunday, so I'm going to have to figure out when I'm going to stream next week. But we should be back to 3 hours. It will either be much earlier or it'll be on a different day, like a Thursday or something in the evening. But we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Finally. I'm doing it for you. The hours, the +7 hours, +7 UTC. Or +8 UTC, I forget. Anyway, nonetheless, thank you all for coming along today's stream. Hope we can see each other again. But until the next stream, bye-bye for now, and happy Halloween in like 4 days. Take care. Thank you all for coming. Wonderful. Ugh. Stretch. I've got to get ready. Got to get changed.